Okay, we have the same objective as last week. We're simplifying radicals. Now, real quick, if you haven't been here for whatever reason, this might look like it could be difficult. Okay, these are the notes we did last week, but I'm going to show you on example number 1. If you can just break it down with a factor tree, and you know what the little rules are, it's not that bad. Okay. We also learned about multiplying, dividing, rationalizing, and adding and subtracting. Now, all those notes and their videos are on the Google Classroom. There's a copy of the notes filled out in the blue bin. All this stuff is available, but let's do number 1 together. So if you haven't been here, does everyone hear me? If you haven't been here, you really got to focus here, okay? So you got a number under a square root. Do not just type it in and give me the decimal. When it says to simplify, you have to do what's called a factor tree, like this, okay? You're breaking it down into its factors. So the question is, what multiplies to make 800? You always want to start with the smallest prime number, which is 2. So does 2 go into 800? Yes. And here's how I know. It's even. If it's an even number, you can cut it in half, for sure, every time. So 800 is even, so it's going to be 2 times what is 800? Or what is half of 800? 400. So you find those two factors, and then I like to cross out the old number. It's gone. Okay. Then 400. It's also even. Can I divide it by 2? I can. So 2 times what? 200. All right, and then 200, once again, it's even. Let's break it down again. 2 times 100, okay? You see the pattern here. So 100, it's even. 2 times half of 100 is 50, and then keep going. 50 is also even. 2 times what? 25. Now, we finally get to a number that's not even. 25 is odd. So the next number we try after 2 is 3. Does 3 go into 25? So if you don't know, when you type it in your calculator, 25 over 3, it's not going to give you a whole number, so 3 doesn't work. What about the next prime number, which is 5? Does 5 go into 25? Yeah, 5 times 5. Okay. Now here's the deal. Every one of those factors is prime. They can't be broken down. You can't break down 2. You can't break down 5. We don't try to break it down by multiples of 1 or factors of 1. That doesn't work, okay? So, if you haven't been here, here's how you do this, okay? You want to find the pair. Do I have any pairs here? Well, 2 2s, there's another pair of 2 2s, and then there's a pair of 2 5s. So circle all your pairs if you haven't already. When you circle a pair, you cross one out so you don't get confused. That's 1 pair of 2, 1 pair of 2, and 1 pair of 5. All right. Now, do you see what's not circled? I call that the loner. Okay. Now, here's the dealio. You think of this as a radical house party. Okay. And these are all circled couples, right? Here's how you remember this. Couples go out. They go out. So they're not in. Couples go out to the left. So 2, 2, and 5. If you have more than one thing, you always multiply. Say that again. If you have more than one of anything, multiply. So 2, 2, and 5 are going to multiply. 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 5, we go outside. We get 20. So 2 times 2 times 5 on the outside is 20. Why did it go out? Because they're couples. Couples go out. And guess what loners do? They stay in. Okay, they read a book. So 2 times 5 outside, loner on the inside. That is how you do simplifying radicals. Factor tree, find your couples. Couples go out, loners stay in. If there's more than one, multiply. Those are the rules, okay? So that was a quick course in reducing radicals, but all of that is in the notes. Copies are in the blue bin. Now, number 2. This was kind of new last class on Friday. What about dividing? Okay, so check it out. If you have a fraction, you can do outside divided by outside, inside divided by inside. So what is 18 divided by 6 going to give me? 3. Okay, you can type it in, see if you get a whole number. If you do, that's the answer, 3. And then 25 divided by 5 on the inside is what? 5. Okay, so outside divided by outside, inside divided by inside, that's your answer, 3 squared of 5. And we also learned last week multiplying outside times outside, inside times inside, same idea, okay? Now, here's a challenging one on purpose. What's weird about this that can't happen? Okay, you cannot have this on the bottom. That's a no-no. Okay, no square root sign, no radical on the bottom. But before I mess with that, y'all see there's a 12 on top and a 3, regular 12, regular 3 on top and bottom. Reduce that if you can. Makes your life simpler by simplifying. So 12 divided by 3 is what? 4, right? And if you get a whole number, that's going to be on top, okay? So I got a 4 on top now, but I got a square root of 3 still on the bottom. Now I'll be impressed. Last period forgot. What do I do to get rid of the square root on the bottom? Do what? Very good. Okay. So let me point you to these notes. When we did rationalizing a denominator, okay, check it out. Here's an example. We learned last week on Wednesday, if you have a square root times itself, it gets rid of the square root. Okay? So when I see a square root on the bottom, I got to multiply by the same exact square root on the bottom and the top. So again, this is what we learned last week. These are the examples we did last week. So on today's warm-up, I have a square root of 3 on the bottom. I can't have a square root of 3 on the bottom. So I'm going to multiply by the same square root. Here I go. Times the square root of 3. We'll get rid of the square root sign. If I do it on the bottom, do it on the top. So on top, 4 times the square root of 3. Regular number times the square root, stick them next to each other. 4 times square root of 3 is 4 square root of 3. And then on the bottom, like we said, square root times itself, remove the square root, and you just have 3 now. Okay. Now, 4 over 3 doesn't reduce. You always want to ask yourself, does it reduce? But 4 over 3 doesn't reduce. So that's actually going to be it. Okay. And you see what it says at the bottom. Let me do a visual. Okay. On Friday, I gave you this assignment near the end of class when we finished the notes. Definitely don't have time to do it. Today you have time. Right? So you do have time for this. However, some of us need to do some other stuff. Okay? So this is your goal, to finish this assignment from 121, simplify radicals. This is what it looks like. This is what we've been if you need it. Does everyone understand that that's the goal? However, I gave you your own grade sheets, okay? Or I gave you something to fix. Or you're like, why is my grade low? And you see on here, your quiz grade might be low, okay? If you have a low quiz grade, I'm going to bring it to you to fix, okay? We'll have a little discussion on what you might need to fix when you fix it, okay? But if I give you a quiz to fix, you finish that first, you don't take it home, you give it to me before you leave, okay? But your goal, again, is to provide an actual assignment. If you haven't been here, the notes are in the blue bin. And if that's not good enough and I'm busy helping someone with the quiz, you might want to watch the video notes on the Google Classroom, okay? All right, here we go.